Hi, this is my Elements of Communication speech. I knew that after I graduated high school that my entire life would change. College was expected to be a whole new experience that would open up a whole new world. Walking through the college doors for the very first time was new to me, but very familiar. I felt extremely nervous because I was afraid of the judgment of others or not being able to keep up with the schoolwork, subjective. However, I came to the realization that nobody was out to get me and that if I could pass high school with high honors, then I should be able to pass college without any problem. My first semester, I only took one course in school. The rest of my classes were online. As soon as I walked into the room of my in-school class, my instructor was able to tell I was nervous and told me that he was there for me to talk to him with whatever I may need help with. Objective. This made me feel 10 times more comfortable as I sat next to my new best friend I made. As the 3-hour class went on, we got into groups and started to do group work. However, I hadn't gotten much sleep the night before, so I was extremely tired. Being that I was so tired, my face was drooping and it made me look like I was miserable. So people interpreted that I was miserable, but in reality, I was just tired. Therefore, causing my other classmates in my group, again, to interpret that I was miserable, so that would be the receiver end of it, and my face drooping would be the sender end. When the instructor told us to go back to our seats and get ready for the lecture part of class, I spiked a slight bit of energy, eager to learn. Being that my eyesight can be somewhat vague, I had to move my seat from the back of the room to the front, channel sight. Although due to me still not fully being able to see everything on the board, I had to rely on what the instructor was saying to write down my notes and use my sense of sound as well, and that there is a channel switch. My social anxiety began to kick in. When my instructor caught me off guard and told me to come up to the board to answer the question. Internally, I was panicking and knew my anxiety would get the best of me. I went up to the front of the class and wrote my answer on the board. We were then required to explain our answer to the class, and that is when I began to sweat while having major anxiety stomach cramps. This impaired my ability to thoroughly explain to the class how I got my answer. Noise, physical discomfort. However, I did not go into detail with how I got my answer. I was still able to portray the information enough to the class that my instructor allowed me to go back to my seat comfortably. After I sat down, the entire class began to clap, and my instructor smiled at me. This made me feel extremely good. Positive feedback. Finally, I had made it to the end of my first day, and my best friend and I, we decided to go out to lunch after class. When we got to the restaurant, I had to explain to my friend how much better I felt to not be in that classroom environment and to be just him and I just hanging out and relaxing. Context physical. Even though I was a nervous wreck thinking that I did so bad in front of the class, my friend complimented me and said I should become a businessman with how confident I seem in myself. External feedback. When I had gotten home after going out to lunch with my friend, my girlfriend was not home, which I knew that was going to be a bad sign being that she was not home. A few moments later, I hear a slamming of the front door, and then I knew something bad was about to come about on my good first day of college. Intention level. She began screaming and picking a fight towards me. I knew that I did not want this to negatively impact my entire good day at school. So, I decided to go to my parents' house. Complimentary interaction. The next day, I had received a text from her saying how she was sorry for fighting and that she will never do it again. So I accept her apology because I know that we all have miscommunication sometimes, and everybody should have a chance for redemption. I took my positive new mindset to my second day of class after the text that I got from my girlfriend. It left me with a positive mindset that day, being that we got over the fight and we can move on from it, and I'm ready for my next day of school. I walked through the doors of college with the sky bright blue and sunny. Then I entered the class, sat next to my new best friend, and felt extremely comfortable in my new learning environment. Confirmation. That was my Elements of Communication speech.